Look, many accidents occur in workshops literally every single day. It's a harsh, uncompromising reality right out of the gate, isn't it? We often walk into our workspace, grab our tools, and just get completely lost in the task at hand. But lurking just out of sight, in that very environment we feel so totally comfortable in, are hazards that claim victims daily. I really want you to hold on to that thought, because today, we're going to change the way you look at your workshop forever. Welcome to this explainer. If you're here, you're obviously someone who values efficiency, focus, and doing things the right way. Today, we are taking a deep dive into automotive shop safety. But hey, we're not just going to sit here and read through a dry list of compliance rules. No way. Our main goal today is transforming those standard safety regulations into critical, actionable self-preservation. By the end of our time together, you'll see these guidelines not as annoying restrictions, but as the absolute ultimate tools you need to protect your livelihood and literally your life. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, why shop safety matters. 2, the anatomy of an accident. 3, identifying common workshop hazards. 4, fire and electrical safety. And 5, best practices for prevention. It's a super logical flow from understanding the why all the way to mastering the how. All right, section 1, why shop safety matters, and specifically, we're looking at the ripple effect of accidents. It is incredibly easy to think of a workshop as just, a room full of tools and machinery. But the truth, a shop is only as safe as the people actively working inside of it. Work safety sits right at the center of the whole shebang: your employment, your protection, the business itself, and your team. And here is the absolute most critical thing you got to understand. When an accident happens, it doesn't just happen to you. If you get hurt on the shop floor, the consequences ripple outward. It affects your family, who relies on you. It affects your coworkers, who have to deal with the immediate trauma and, obviously, the loss of a team member. And it affects the company as a whole. An injury is literally never an isolated event. It's a shockwave. I absolutely love how blunt the source material is here. It says, safety is your job. You are safe when you protect your eyes, fingers, feet, all your body. Notice those double exclamation points? This isn't just a casual suggestion, folks. It is a mandate. Protecting yourself is your ultimate personal responsibility. It's not just the manager's job or the safety inspector's job. It's yours. And as the source also reminds us, you've got to look out for the safety of everyone else around you, too. You're basically your brother and sister's keeper on that floor. Moving on to section 2, anatomy of an accident. We're talking human versus physical factors. So now that we know why we need to be safe, we need to understand exactly what causes these daily accidents in the first place. Let's do a quick knowledge check. Based on your experience, what would you say is the primary cause of workshop accidents? Is it human error or is it physical faults with the equipment? Take a quick guess. Well, according to the source materials quizzes, it's basically a dead heat. Both play a massive equal role in workshop injuries. Funny enough, we usually want to blame the machine right away, but half the time, the machine is just sitting there, waiting for us to make a mistake. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we mean by both. On one hand, we've got human factors. These are the accidents caused by improper use of tools, wearing inappropriate clothes, or honestly just plain carelessness. These are your personal mistakes, right? But on the other hand, we have physical factors. These are accidents due to a malfunctioning tool or machine, missing safety devices, or just a poor working environment overall. You really have to actively monitor both sides of this equation. You could be the most careful worker on the planet, but if you're using a malfunctioning machine that's lacking safety devices, you are still in grave danger. Okay, section 3, identifying common workshop hazards. You really need to know what you are up against. To defeat an enemy, you got to know what it looks like, right? Let's categorize the specific dangers lurking in the workshop environment so we can mentally compartmentalize these risks. Here is a clear, structured list of the broad hazard categories you'll definitely encounter. We have mechanical hazards, think moving parts of machinery. Physical hazards, like intense noise or extreme temperatures. Chemical hazards, from all those various fluids and solvents used in automotive work. Ergonomic hazards from awkward postures. And manual handling hazards from lifting heavy parts. By mentally filing your environment into these distinct categories, you can much more accurately identify and classify the risks you face every single day. And what happens if we fail to manage those hazards? Well, we move from abstract concepts to concrete, severe bodily harm. We're talking about severe burns, we're talking electric shocks, fires and explosions, and asphyxiation. These aren't just minor scrapes or bruises, guys. These are life-altering and potentially life-ending consequences of ignoring the rules. Which brings us to section 4, fire and electrical safety. Preventing absolute catastrophes. Because those stakes are just so incredibly high, we need to focus specifically on one of the most critical danger categories in any automotive shop: electricity. The source material establishes a direct, undeniable link. Incorrect handling of electrical equipment can cause shorts and fire. Therefore, learn how to use it correctly. It sounds so incredibly simple, yet it's so often ignored. An electrical short isn't just a blown fuse. In a shop totally filled with combustible fuels and chemicals, a single spark from mishandled electrical equipment can trigger a catastrophic fire or explosion in literal seconds. The mandate here is education. There is absolutely no room for guesswork when electricity and fuel mix. Finally, Section 5. Best practices for prevention. Taking control of your environment. So, we've talked about the problem, we've agitated those severe risks, and now we put it directly into the clear, empowering solutions. Step 1. Make a habit of putting tools or parts away. Step 2. Clean up fuel or spills to prevent yourself and others from slipping on the floor. Step 3. Always keep your workplace clean. We usually call this housekeeping, which I know can sound a bit trivial, right? Like you're just doing chores. But in a workshop, housekeeping is not about having a neat appearance. It is a vital, actionable, life-saving procedure. A spill left on the floor isn't just a mess, it's a broken bone waiting to happen. And then we have the heavy machinery, like automotive lifts. These rules are highly specific and honestly, absolutely non-negotiable. First, ensure lifts are properly used, no cutting corners. Second, never, under any circumstances whatsoever, lift a vehicle with a passenger in it. And third, to avoid damage to the vehicle and the lift environment, make absolutely sure to close the vehicle doors before operating that lift. Simple rules, sure, but they are the exact barriers standing between a totally normal workday and a crushing physical disaster. All right, we've reached the end of our explainer, and I really want to leave you with this final thought. When everyone obeys the rules, the shop is much safer. That is a direct quote from the source, and it's a powerful promise. But you know, it comes with a challenge, one that I want you to take with you the second you head back to the floor. Are you doing your part today? Remember, safety is your job. Protect your eyes, your hands, your coworkers, and ultimately your future. Keep learning, stay focused, and for sure, stay safe out there.